know, we've been working 7 days on, 7 days off. You miss your children. That's hard being away for that week when you miss your children. If you had to go for 2 weeks, I would leave. It's too long away.
The people down in Melbourne who say, we want you to do 14 and 14 so we can save some money, aren't the ones who spend 14 days out there, miss their wife, miss their family. So they're working on a black line on the ledger. They're home every night with their families.
I've got a 4.5-year-old, a 2.5-year-old and another one on the way. For what the family has gained out of the extra bonus that I make salary-wise, we would just lose out in family life. Like, the family wouldn't stay together. The stability would be gone.
Everyone's trying to keep their families together. Like, it's hard enough now. If you've got anyone that's got kids knows that it's hard enough to keep them on the straight and narrow now, to keep them doing what you want, to get them into sport, doing what you want to do. They're saying, you know, they think they've got a social conscience. That's fine. But we're saying, let our families be as they are.
Don't we have a right as wives and kids to see our husbands and our kids see their dads every second week?
For the past 25 years, Bass Strait oil rig workers and their families have built their lives around a 7 days on, 7 days off roster. Esso Australia, a subsidiary of the global American-owned ExxonMobil, now wants to alter this roster cycle to 14 days on, 14 days off, in order to save around $1 million annually. In doing so, Esso claims the change from working 7 days straight to 14 days straight will have a neutral effect on the stability of the families of oil rig workers. Esso has offered its offshore contractors a $4,000 once-off lump sum and a 15% pay increase over 3 years to entice workers to replace their current 7-day roster with a 14-day roster.
I'm not about to sell my soul or the guys that are coming after me for a handful of dollars.
7 days is enough for him to be away from the family. You really hear by the 7th day that he just wants to be home. He's done his time away, and it's time to come back to see us all and to be home with the family. So for 14 days for him, it'd be really impossible. It'd drive him nuts, basically. He'd just want to be home.
It would be harder for me, both for the kids and for my wife, so personally missing them, I mean. So if it was a longer break, it'd be harder again, yeah.
We always give him a big hug. He normally picks us up and, yeah, we get really excited.
Biggest thing I miss about him being away for a week is adult company, adult conversation. I don't socialise as much. I tend to stay home and keep to myself a bit more when he's away.
Because she needs help around the house, and if Dad's not there, then she's only got us, who are a bit lazy. Yeah.
Why should we have to go back to the 70s after they fought real hard to get the week on, week off?
I think I missed most about my dad is him helping me do my homework and getting me through stuff.
And there's things that we leave to do for when he comes home. For instance, like getting the new puppy. We left that till he was home, and they were pretty much chomping at the bit for 1 week. So for 2 weeks, it'd be downright impossible for him just to wait for things, put things off like Christmas. Even that would be a really hard time. Easter, if he's gone away for 2 weeks over those times, it'd be terrible. So yeah, for them it'd be hard.
Yeah, obviously if a school break is 2 weeks and I was offshore for those 2 weeks, that would be quite difficult, yeah. I would miss them entirely. At the moment I always get one week at least, which is pretty good, so yeah, I would miss that.
What would happen to us as a family?
Ask the shiny asses in the head office how long they can go without seeing their children.
Ask them the same questions. Would you be prepared to get out there for 14 days? Away from your families, away from your sporting, away from your golf club, or driving your little sports car? See if you can go away and do it. Your little baby or something like that for 14 days. I bet you their answer would be no, or they're bullshitting.
I think if he was to start working 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off again, one of the biggest impacts on that would be my sense of loneliness during the time that he was away. Our kids are sort of growing up now and are away doing their own thing. And I think 2 weeks is a long time to have dinners on your own.
2 weeks away, they sort of, maybe they would start to live more without you. I talk to them regular on the phone and when I'm offshore, so I mean you can keep in contact, but it's just that, you know, visual stuff and sitting down for a meal with them and that stuff you enjoy doing, which you'll miss.
I was pretty pumped on Tuesday when he's about to come home, and yeah, so it's not the same talking on the phone, like, you just can't explain it as well and all that, so yeah, after 2 weeks you'd forget about things and you wouldn't be able to tell him as much stuff and all that.
You know, Dad will come home and it's like, what have your kids been up to? Oh, ask Mum, she knows it all. Now, if he's away for 14 days, they'll never talk to him because it's too much bother to have to explain to Dad about this friend, this house, because Mum knows everybody and where they're going, what the routine is, what time they're going to be home, blah, blah, blah. And the dads get left out and pushed out more and more. And that then makes them, like, and as you say, I mean, most men nowadays do participate in the family life. They do participate in upbringing the children. And if they have been very much a member of the family, they feel very out when the kids sort of say, oh, go ask Mum.
The majority of affected families live in Gippsland, Victoria, close to the heliport. The average age of workers in the Bass Strait oil fields is 47, and most have worked on the rigs long term. 15 years is the average. The Australian Workers' Union and other unions recently conducted a partners survey to gauge the impact of the change from a 7-day to a 14-day roster on family life. They received an unprecedented 200 responses from the wives and partners. More than 90% rejected Esso's offer because they want to protect the quality of their family life, not because they are anti-Esso.
A lot of my friends offshore have separated where the wives have become independent. The husbands have struggled to adapt on their week at home so much. 2 weeks they would become more independent and you'd find, I think there'd probably be an increased divorce rate.
You know, when you get the phone call from the school to say that your child's been really naughty and they're going to be expelled for 2 days or something like that, and you have to go up to the school on your own and deal with it, it's quite emotional and hard for me. And when John comes home, the impact of it and the seriousness of it is perhaps gone a little bit. Therefore, we see it differently and it causes conflict between us. And I guess that's how it happens with other people as well. That conflict comes about because you're both not sharing the same experience at the same time.
Just he's our dad and we need him around, I guess. But 2 weeks apart's hard for the whole family. 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah, I guess you'd get pretty sick and tired of not seeing him all the time.
It creates a sense of family having us both here. Yeah, complete family. Yeah.
Having 4 teenagers is a big job, and you need the other support factor happening, and you know, someone else to lean on and to give you a hand. And Ivan's great like that. He's a wonderful dad and father figure and everything else that you would ever dream of. Like, my life's pretty busy anyway when I am home. Like, I work I work 3 full days each week, and running the kids around and being the taxi and the mother and the cook and the cleaner and you know, the doctor and the baker and the, you know, whatever.
probably you can't do things with him. It's like not the same with mum and stuff. Like, it's just because he takes you more places and she's just like cleaning around the house and stuff. So, yeah.
Oh, it's great. As soon as the kids come home from school, I'm waiting for them to come off the bus and that. As soon as, you know, I see him, oh, it's great. Nothing like it. I miss him heaps.
First thing I do when he gets home is hug him and stuff because he's gone away for a week and that.
The biggest thing the kids would miss with Ivan being away for a fortnight would be him just being there. You know, like he'd be home for that fortnight and that'd be great, but you just could never match that 2 weeks being away, particularly at the age that the boys are. You know, they're growing and they need that man figure around all the time to show them things and how to do things, and you know, this is the way you treat a female, and this is the way you change the battery and the way you mow the lawns, and you know, all those sort of things. And I can't teach them that. I can show them things, but you just can't. You can't. You know, you can't be a male and a female. You can't be a dad and a mother at the same time. You just can't, particularly when you've got young, impressionable kids.
And everything seems to go wrong while I'm at work, you know, things will break here. We have an older house and things will just break down, and it's always while I'm at work.
When Ivan's away, my biggest fear is just being on my own. You know, like just that, the closeness and the support that you give one another, and like we're pretty close. And just being together, I suppose, yeah.
It's a user-friendly system that we've got. It's one that we've gotten used to. It's a time frame that people can live with. It's a time frame that the children can live without you, your wife can live without you, but then you're home. So when you go 14 and 14, you can say, well, why don't you do month and month, 2 months, 2 months? Where does it end?
We were actually talking the other day about, you know, Ivan was 50 this year, and you know, if we did go to 2 weeks, well, what does a 50-year-old do if you don't like the 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, which, you know, obviously you'd leave, but where would you find a job at 50? I mean, a guy at 50 would find it very difficult, I would imagine. So you're sort of forced to stay offshore for the 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, and sort of put up with it.
To work offshore for 14 days, I could probably nearly handle it, you know, but I know my wife could not handle it at all, and I would have to give up the offshore work because it would break our marriage. It would just finish us, and I'm not going to have that.
You just don't sort of like think of him when he's gone and that, because like he's just like, because he'll be back in like a week and stuff, so yeah.
Well, that'd be like a shrapnel effect that'll just spread to them and would just destroy them as well. They might not see it now, the younger boys, but it will really affect their life. I just couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it at all.